Hi, this is Lucia with The Art of Love. I'm a dating and relationship expert specializing in helping you get your ex back. Today, I want to talk about 7 reasons why no contact works on everyone. And it's not just because your ex is going to be missing you or feeling anxiety. That's the simple answer. There's much more to it than that. And it works on all humans. So if you're dating a human, great. If you're dating an alien, I can't help you. But before I do that, be sure to subscribe so that you don't miss out on any of my future videos. And while you're at it, tap the bell icon so you'll be notified when a new video is up. So I've got 5 pages of notes, y'all. You're going to hear some papers rustling in the background. But let's go. The first one is we are wired to respond to loss. And I have a quote from one of my favorite dating books, which some of you may know about, Love Tactics. And it says, "While people disrespect that which they have in the palm of their hand and are attracted to that which they can't get, they become absolutely frantic with desire over that which they already possess but are in danger of losing." And so when they broke up with you, they thought they would still have you in some form. They thought that they'd be able to reach out and you'd respond, or they thought you'd reach out to them. They didn't realize that they were going to miss you. They didn't realize what you meant to them and the hopefully positive effect you had on their life. And so by being radio silent, their loss, even though they wanted it, hits them even harder. And they feel it sooner than if you stick around begging or pleading, trying to convince them to change their mind. You've now taken away their freedom to talk to you because they thought they'd still be able to talk to you anytime until they see that you're not reaching out or responding to their messages. The second reason is, as humans, we have a need for both predictability and unpredictability, both things. And by not reaching out, you have now satisfied their need for unpredictability. Because if everything was predictable, how boring would that be, right? And so, again, even though they broke up with you, they didn't expect you to just disappear. They thought at least you would put up some type of resistance. And you didn't. So now you're predictable. So now you're more interesting. And they're wondering what you're doing. And as they're wondering, that question mark becomes a hook, which hooks them in and hooks them back, hopefully, to call you. The third one is that silence creates mystery. They're going to wonder what is going on. You've now created what's called an information gap. When they don't hear from you, and they were expecting to hear from you, their mind is going to start filling in the blanks. It's going to start creating stories, and usually those stories are negative stories. Think about it. If you've ever said to someone, well, let me know that you got home safe, and then they didn't let you know that they got home safe, you're going to start wondering, you're going to start worrying that something went wrong, that something bad happened. You're not going to start thinking that something good happened. That's why you didn't hear from them. That's why they didn't tell you that they got home safely. You're not going to think, oh, they must have met the man of their dreams or the woman of their dreams on the way home. That's why they didn't hear from them. No, whoever thinks that. They always think, oh my God, something happened. I haven't heard from her. Something happened. And so that's what happens when you disappear and you don't reach out to their ex. The mind is going to fill it in with something negative. And they're going to assume that you haven't contacted them because maybe you really weren't that into them. Or maybe you found someone else. Or maybe, even worse, you already had someone else that they had no clue about. Or you went back to another ex. Their mind is going to start filling in the blanks. And as it does that, they're going to feel the anxiety. And this anxiety is going to cause them to do what? That's right, reach out. Which takes us to number 4. Scarcity creates value. So by disappearing, you have now raised your value. And let me give you an example of this. Let's take something as simple as water. Now, we don't usually think about it very much. I think about it a lot because I love water, but that's just me. We get it for free from the tap, and most bars and restaurants give free water. It's usually available everywhere, fountains, etc. Now, what if something happened to the water supply and it wasn't flowing as freely from our taps? Well, I think suddenly we would start to value it a lot more. We'd be like, oh my God, am I going to be able to get water today? Will I have enough water? And something that you once took for granted as always being there, now you're going to worry that you're not going to have access to it. So no contact raises your value, and it raises their interest level, and it makes them more likely to do what? Again, yes, reach out. You should know the answer by now. Moving right along. Number 5 is respect. Now, when you don't contact them, even though you have strong feelings for them and they know that you have strong feelings for them, their respect for you is going to go up. And you cannot have love without respect. You can't love someone that you don't respect. Now, men can have sex with women that they don't respect. Yeah, I know. Women can't. We cannot have sex with a guy if we do not respect him. But men, they can. However, we're talking about love here. And there can be no love without respect. And so you want them to respect you, because maybe that was one of the reasons they broke up with you. Their respect for you went down, taking with it their interest level in you. And so by leaving them alone, their respect for you goes up, and so therefore does their interest level. And again, another quote from Love Tactics, and it says, if you let them disrespect you, you can kiss your love life goodbye. And so that's why respect is so important. We're almost done here. Number 6. Okay, this one is FOMO. Do you know what that means? Fear of missing out. And so by not reaching out, you've now created mystery, and they are wondering, what the heck are you up to? Especially if you're not posting on social media, or if you are posting on social media and they see that you're going to new places, you're hanging out with new people, you're doing things that you guys had talked about doing and now you're doing it without them, they're going to begin to second guess their decision and wonder if they are missing out and they made a mistake. And that's exactly where we want them. And then finally, number 7 is the open loop. The mind hates open loops. Let me give you an example of what it is. If someone says to you, hey, guess what? And you go, what? And then they say, oh, no, forget it. Your natural inclination is to say, no, what? Tell me, what? No, forget it. That's an open loop. The mind hates open loops in conversations or in situations. And the best example of this is soap operas. Did you know that Days of Our Lives has been around for 50 years? How many TV shows have been around for 50 years? I don't think any other TV shows have been around that long. And so that's the best example of an open loop, although they call it a cliffhanger for TV shows, because every day at the end of the show, something happens. You're like, oh no, what's going to happen tomorrow? I got to come back and find out. And it's the same thing. The brain doesn't like open loops. The curiosity is piqued because you want a conclusion. And so since they assume that you would contact them and beg them, and they turn you down, and you continue to pine for them, and they could reach out to you at any time they wanted to, and you'd respond, by not reaching out to them and not responding, you've created an open loop. They're wondering, what is going to happen? Will you respond if they reach out to you again, or are you going to ignore them? They don't know. And this gives them FOMO, fear of missing out. It raises their respect for you. It raises your value. It creates mystery. It satisfies their need for unpredictability, and it plays into their fear of loss. Who knew that no contact could do all that? Who knew that you could create all that just by using the no contact rule? That something so simple is actually so powerful. Now, does it work 100% of the time? I know you're wondering that. No, that would be impossible. It just means that their interest level is so low that there's no coming back no matter what you do. I mean, think about it. Aren't there people that you've dated that there is no way you would ever get back with them or contact them. You are done and you want nothing to do with them. Even if they won $1 billion in the lottery, you would still want nothing to do with them, right? There are people like that, I'm sure. I have at least one person I can think of. I'm sure you can think of someone. So if that's the situation, then nothing will work. But usually it's not like that. So in most cases, you will hear from your ex if you do no contact. So if you're going through a breakup, I know that you're in pain and you want to reach out to your ex, you want to break no contact, but it's probably going to backfire. So instead, I would suggest that you contact me about a private coaching session so that I can help you get your ex back. And you can contact me at my website, theartoflove.net. If you're listening on YouTube, remember to like and subscribe. If you're listening on iTunes, I would appreciate if you would rate and review the podcast. And finally, remember that love inspires, empowers, uplifts, and enlightens.